continues tonight as FC Tulsa entertain a side they've never beaten, one Sacramento FC. After beating Phoenix on the road and then Tampa Bay Rowdies here at One Oak Field, they will need to respond to the 1-0 defeat a week ago to North Carolina. Good evening, everybody. Welcome in, as I said, Jeremy Poplin, Dave Saunders guiding you through tonight's action. And Pop, it's a new era, it's a new team. It's been quite the start this season.
Well, they're going to have a good start to the season considering the schedule that FC Tulsa has to face here in the early portion of the season. So important, Dave, to get off on the front foot at the start of this season. Look at who they've already had the opportunity to play with another heavyweight coming in tonight with Sacramento.
Yeah, as I said, never beaten Sacramento. But what they have built, Pop, is a good defense. And we're going to have a look at the defensive prowess here of FC Tulsa, and particularly their clearances when the ball comes into the box.
Well, defense is about having a certain mentality, and that was one of the reasons why this team was created the way that it was. And you've had a prime look at that mentality the first couple of weeks of the season. We saw the block off the line at Phoenix. Look at this, defending in numbers, getting in front of the ball, making sure that there's not going to be an easy path to goal for the opponents. And this team just thrives on the work rate that they have on the defensive side of the ball. And I know that's got to make not only the head coach happy, but the entire front office happy as well, as they're one of the league leaders in blocks so far here in USL Championship.
They certainly are, and they've got that back three, Sissoko in the middle, and then Arthur Rogers and Lamar Batista. So they've certainly settled in well at the back, and as I say, they're up against a formidable attack that Sacramento Republic brings. We can't wait for this one. There's been a bit of rain about in Tulsa, but I'll tell you what, it's warming up now. The atmosphere is warming up as well. We'll be back with first half call and those lineups. It is FC Tulsa versus Sacramento Republic FC.
I couldn't lay down, I couldn't stand up.
My shoulder blade and the muscles between the shoulder blades.
Bent over, couldn't stand up straight.
The pain just got progressively worse.
Turns out that I had scoliosis.
When I walked into Tulsa Spine and Rehab for the first time, I definitely felt very welcomed.
Dr. Riley, I just made an automatic connection.
He's going to take care of you and your needs and get you going.
I walked out of here and I didn't have a crick in my neck anymore.
There is truly here the desire to help people get better.
What does it take to safely transport 1/3 of America's natural gas? To meet the ever-growing energy demands of revolutionary technologies? To cleanly, reliably, and affordably power the world? It takes experience. 117 years worth. Experience that helps society move towards brave new horizons in technology and innovation that continues powering the future of our nation and the globe. Experience powers us.
Dear future Charlie, Mom said life is full of opportunities. She also said life is full of learning new things. Really, really cool new things. And when you have the right tools, there are a lot of skills to learn. If we all do the best we possibly can, you just never know whose life might
change for the better.
Tonight's match is brought to you by Ascension St. John, by Bill Knight Ford, home of the Knight Advantage, by Williams, we make clean energy happen. Well, good evening again, everybody. Welcome into One Oak Field in this game presented by Case & Associates FC Tulsa. So Dave Saunders alongside Jeremy Poplin. And Pop, as we take a look at the home starting 11, they are pretty much unchanged, and we talk about that defence, but obviously FC Tulsa early doors, they want to score more goals. Stojanovic, Calera El Madkar, they have the responsibility up top.
They do. Only 2 goals scored so far here in the early portion of the season, Dave, and they'll be looking to take advantage of every opportunity that they have against a very prolific opponent here in Sacramento. But I'm very intrigued by that back line that FC Tulsa presents.
Certainly do. And we talked about the opponents, the formidable Sacramento Republic. Cicerone, he's been around for a few years, top striker.
Top striker indeed. Gurr, there is going to be a handful on the outside. Watch him to push up in early spaces there at the front of this attack, and then obviously what they have at the back as well. And maybe, Dave, one of the best keepers in all of USL. 14 clean sheets last season alone for Sacramento.
Yeah, Vitiello is one of the best. Let's have a look at the injury report brought to you by OSU Medicine. For the visitors, absolutely none. Andrew Booth, Alex DeLue and goalkeeper Michael Creek are out. For FC Tulsa, that injury report, as I said, brought to you by OSU Medicine. We are just about ready. There are FC Tulsa. It's a new look, Jeremy Poplin, to FC Tulsa in this new era.
Love those Stay Gold kits that FC Tulsa wearing here this evening, and you're exactly right. Brand new look. They've had a great start to the season so far, Dave, with 2 big victories. It will be intriguing to see how they come off of their first bit of adversity, facing a loss from North Carolina last week. And then also on the opposite side, how is Sacramento going to respond? Taking a lead, 2-0 lead into the 85th minute to only have 2 penalties called against them against Colorado Springs, and then to walk away feeling that they have given up one of those at home to come on the road for the very first time. You know what type of challenges that presents. So we've got storylines galore for this evening's match.
Can't wait for this one. We are kicking off now, and FC Tulsa on the attack already. That's going to go all the way through to Vitiello, who's wearing that bright yellow kit tonight. FC Tulsa playing from right to left on your screens in their all black strips with the gold numbers against Sacramento Republic. And a long punt down the field from Vitiello, and already the referee says there is a foul. And somebody down very early on here. And that's AB Sissoko under pressure from Sebastian Herrera.
Looks like he's holding his neck area. Now if we can take another look at this. Herrera obviously got up into that area. Referee was quick to go over and point out, say, come on, lads, we're very early here tonight.
Here is the replay pop.
As he's just got his left arm that's up, kind of up towards the facial area. I don't think it was necessarily as intentional as what it seemed early on until we got a good look at it.
Sissoko is an interesting one for me. Signed in the back, and it's always an indication of the kind of play you've got when immediately they put the captain's armband on him. He certainly is a leader, and so far he's been a rock at the back, has AB Sissoko.
You know, from a personal standpoint, I love that. I do think that your leader should be parked right there in the middle on the back line, and it takes a special type of player, one that is organized, one that can get organization and command it out of your teammates, and also to be able to communicate. And so far we've seen that, and this is a brilliant long ball played in off the back.
Yeah, Lamar Baptista it was with the long raking ball. Referee right in there though, saying that Stojanovic was just a little bit overzealous in trying to get to that ball.
You do like it though early, just taking a look there from the back, and there's plenty of space as that ball was hit at a diagonal. Unlucky there as they got to the edge of the 18, but I do rather enjoy that look from the back here early on.
There is Stojanovic, signed from Philadelphia Union 2s, where he made over 40 appearances. Second season with FC Tulsa, but it's Sacramento Republic with Okebu to Freddie Kleeman, and a long ball. It's been the kind of story of, it's been long balls tonight so far from both teams. Here's Jack Gurr with another long ball, and that's going to go all the way through for the first touch. Big night pop for this young man, Brian Dowd, coming in from MLS Chicago Fire, and he's making his FC Tulsa debut tonight.
Had quite the history between this club and Chicago Fire in the past as well, with players going on loan. As you mentioned, big opportunity for him.
Ball into the box is a good one, headed away well though. It's Cicerone having to defend. Jack Gurr. The referee said there will be a free kick.
It's a right idea from Gurr. Herrera there went down. You see the ref standing over the top of him. Got tangled up there, but Gurr's just simply trying to play that ball into space and let the speedster run onto that.
It's interesting as we look down. I know they're defending Sacramento Republic, but it looks like 3 centre-backs and then 2 wing-backs to me, but it can very easily turn into a back 4 as well. It's very interchangeable, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's just to steal a line from you, my friend. The modern age of football now, hardly any team is rigid anymore in their lineup, all interchangeable, and to be able to flex to any type of tactical changes that they see in just a moment's notice. And that's what I love about the early portion of the season, is you still see them working through that entire process, because it's an incredibly long season, as the players will tell you. We're still so early in this, working out a few kinks.
It is early on in the season. Here's Cicerone, who's really hit the ground running in this season. Good header forward by Freddie Kleeman. Bit of head tennis going on. There's Arthur Rogers on the right of that back 3 for FC Tulsa. That hits Stojanovic. He manages to get the ball back. Then a couple of challenges in midfield involving Justin Portillo. First touch for Owen Darm. Galera, Stojanovic. Pressure from FC Tulsa. Here is Rogers. And that is headed back of a fashion to Danny Vitiello, who we mentioned is just a fantastic professional, fantastic goalkeeper. It's going to take a lot to beat this man tonight, Jeremy Poplin. And you and I have done this for a few years, and we've seen this man play, and he's a top quality goalkeeper.
As we mentioned in the pregame, 14 clean sheets last season, was in the mix for goalkeeper of the year another time, and you can almost make that just a level of consistency with him, that he's going to be in the mix, by the end of the season, with just the quality of keeper that he's been throughout his entire career.
Well, it's interesting. I was talking to Luke Spencer, the coach, of course, of FC Tulsa. I'll come back to that in just a moment, because FC Tulsa are on the attack. There's a low ball, easily cut out by former FC Tulsa man Justin Portillo. Now Cicerone, who's dropping deep tonight. Christian Pirano tries to thread the ball through. There's Arthur Rogers.
Now Rogers, right positioning for him to be there on that diagonal ball that's played in. Try to play at the feet.
Harvey Sinclair, who's made that right wing back berth his own. Of course, Arthur Rogers was playing there a little bit last season. Both of those players, Sinclair and Rogers, had their injury problems last season. Here's Portillo. Now it's trying to be threaded through for Jack Gurr, and that's an easy ball for Brian Dowd, who'll be pleased to get his hand on the football.
But that moment right there with Gurr, Dave, goes back to your point of just how flexible sometimes this system can be with Gurr. You saw how far up front he was and how tight that he was pulled inside the formation.
First attack, and that did come off the chest of the Sacramento Republic player. Let's have a look at the keys to the game, Pop. And FC Tulsa need to stop the counter-attack, which would say that they want to be on the front foot and also take advantage of opportunities. Goals have been few and far between. They'll want to take those opportunities, especially against someone like Vitiello.
Yes, and that second point there, taking advantage of opportunities, there were a number of those last week that you just came away feeling a little bit empty, that FC Tulsa couldn't capitalize on those, especially there in the second half. Now, when those subs came in against North Carolina last week, about the 63rd minute mark, that game kind of flipped at that point in time, and FC Tulsa only had just a very few opportunities after that moment. They just could not find a way to break the ice early on.
Those keys to the game presented by Case and Associates. Here is Lamar Baptista, who is one of the best signings in my book. Many signings, good signings, and they're not finished yet at FC Tulsa. There are players waiting in the wings. Vitiello has to clear. There is Batista, who had some time down the turnpike at OKC Energy, but more recently he was playing against his old club last week in North Carolina, telling me about playing with Rodrigo da Costa and what a fantastic player he is.
I loved his comments when you asked him about playing against da Costa, and it was essentially, hey, he will track everywhere all over the field, so not necessarily going to see, trying to match up with him the entire night, but just tells you the quality of player that Rodrigo is.
Yeah, he said it with a smile on his face. He said, don't be fooled if he's on the lineup sheet on the right wing, and it was true to his word. FC Tulsa in possession here. We're playing the 10th minute at One Oak Field, 0-0 between these two great rivals, and we can tell you that Gera Signs are industry leaders in visa processing for professional athletes. They work hard off the field for the players to succeed on it. Reach out today for your organization's consultation. Gera Signs. Free kick goes the way of the visitors, Sacramento Republic, and Justin Portillo, who played here with FC Tulsa, he was having a long chat with his coach, Neil Collins, and we'll talk about Neil Collins in just a moment. And no doubt he was giving Neil Collins a little bit of knowledge from playing here with FC Tulsa. There is Collins there on the left of the three, the Scotsman. He is one of the all-time winningest coaches in the USL Championship, and he went from Tampa Bay Rowdies to Barnsley in Yorkshire in England, playing in League One. Here's Pirana with a shot over. Then he went to Scotland to Wraith Rovers, and from Wraith Rovers he comes to Sacramento Republic. So he knows his way around the USL Championship.
And what a situation for him to drop into in year one as head coach here for the Republic. Loaded lineup, and a team that at one point in time last year, Dave, went on 11 straight unbeaten streak at one point in time, and I know not only the organization but the fan base was disappointed the way that things ended, and they want to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Yes. Taylor Carrera just hitting over there. Positivity from Luke Spencer and his men. Luke Spencer in his first head coach role. He was the assistant last season, and if you're the head coach, it's a responsibility, and he has conducted himself very well and has had a great start, hasn't he, to the season? Let's be honest.
He has had a tremendous start. Even with the schedule that they've had placed in front of them, they beat Phoenix for the first time since 2017. I think they were still Arizona United at that point, Dave.
Right.
An opportunity here tonight with Sacramento to go and then beat Tampa Bay for the very first time. So it was stacked against them here early on, but it speaks to the quality that they have so far here in the lineup that they put together at FC Tulsa.
And of course, this is the 15th attempt at trying to beat Sacramento Republic, and Neil Collins, well, he knows Caleb Sewell. I was speaking to him before the game. He knows Luke Spencer, and he's got huge respect for what FC Tulsa are doing in this new era. That was Sebastian Herrera, who I think came down on his lower back.
Well, the thing about Coach Spencer and the front office is they're continuing to add. They added Andrew Christensen on March 21st, another assistant coach who comes from top-tier Australian football. So they have an overview of going into the season than once they also are in the middle of the season as well, or the early stages of, all right, what do we need to continue to add? And by adding quality coaches to quality players, sky could potentially be the limit here in Tulsa.
That's a wonderful ball from Stojanovic. Here's Harvey Sinclair, but he just can't get there. Stojanovic just overhit that one. The ground is pretty dry out there, and it's quite a fast pitch, and it was just overhit for Harvey Sinclair. But this is a much more attacking FC Tulsa. I mean, it's a great game, isn't it? Let's be honest. Both teams are attacking, but this is a little bit pacier from FC Tulsa, and they've found their front men much more readily tonight so far.
And I think Coach Spencer will be happy with that. The level of quality and build-up that we've seen here early on, and that last opportunity there. They'll continue to try to go back to that, and it does seem that it is a little bit of a faster pace, a more determined pace than what it was last week with North Carolina.
Here's Batista. Trusty left foot of his, raking ball, looking to bring in Harvey Sinclair, who's got a lot of work again, and Benitez will just shepherd that ball out, and it will be a goal kick. But it's a good game. We're in the 15th minute here at One Oak Field. FC Tulsa in their third home game of the season. They've just had that one game away where they beat Phoenix by 1-0. Of course, the crosstown derby with Tulsa Athletic, they won that one by 1-0, so they're in the next round of the Open Cup as well. They go to Forward Madison in that one in the first week of April. There's Arthur Rogers heading towards that right-hand side, kept in by Cicerone. There's a strong tackle coming in, and the referee just on hand to stop any shenanigans. And the throw-in will be taken by Michel Benitez, who joined in December 2024, plays on the left of the three centre-backs. Ball is still in. The referee tonight is Greg Dobka, and he's had his hands full so far. Tom Felice and Jacobo Saniga are the assistants, with Tim Wagner as the fourth official.
I think Dobka's done an admirable job so far in terms of kind of establishing himself and what will be allowed here early on.
Brian Dow clears into the Sacramento half. It's headed back. Kleeman gets a header in. Now there's a strong run from Vonner. Vonner, who's playing as the left wing back. He was born in Mainz and played youth at Borussia Dortmund. He actually made 13 appearances for the German youth teams. Very good signing. He made his debut just a few weeks ago against New Mexico, and that was his club and USL debut. So that's a good ball. Cicerone's inside the box here. Can he pull it back? He certainly can. Here's Jack Gurr coming in. There's another shot coming in from Pirano, and now another drive towards goal, and it flashes across, and it'll go for a goal kick. Good pressure from Sacramento Republic FC.
A couple of opportunities and another block from that back line of FC Tulsa. On the first attempt, it's Dom, and we'll see it here in just 1 second. Gets his body in front of it, and off of the deflection creates another opportunity that sails way wide. But the first real scoring opportunity here for the Republic.
FC Tulsa work it well with Stojanovic and Harvey Sinclair. They've linked up well inside this first 17 minutes. Strong challenge from Sinclair to try and win it back for FC Tulsa. Here's Rogers, wrong foot Cicerone. Coley was involved. Throw into FC Tulsa. It's a really good game, this one. I hope you're enjoying this one. To those of you watching locally on Fox 23, and maybe some of you further afield watching on ESPN+. Dave Saunders, Jeremy Poplin guiding you through this one. What looks to be a really good game. Sissoko just underhit that. Batista comes in with the left foot, and that one's going to go out for a throw-in on the far side. Ascension St. John presented by Ascension St John. As we are in the 18th minute here at One Oak Field. As we said, FC Tulsa started the season with a 1-0 success against the Tampa Bay Rowdies, which was an impressive win. It was a late Patrick Segrist goal in that one. And then that was following up the 1-0 success in Phoenix. And then there was another 1-0 in the Open Cup. And then last week, just going down by 1-0 to North Carolina. But, you know, speaking to Caleb Sewell, the sporting director and general manager, as Kleeman clears pop, he said, you know, we're building together, we're building a community together, and we build so that when a low time comes, we're strong enough to deal with it. And I thought that was a really good answer, and he really knows what he's doing. He had great success at Memphis 901, and there's still more to come, but I just thought that was a great comment.
Determined, driven, those are a couple of words I would use to describe Caleb.
Now here's Russell Cicerone, danger for FC Tulsa. Oh, lovely threaded ball, and it's going to come across the box, and in the end Owen Dahm is back, let it clear, but Cicerone is a thorn in the FC Tulsa side at the moment.
Yeah, how about that level of class on touch on that tidy little ball inside of the box? And we'll watch this here. Just almost effortless to know right there that that run is going to overlap there to the outside. And of course, FC Tulsa there one final time with the clearance.
Yeah, Luis Felipe it was with the pullback. Here's Batista inside his own 18-yard box, clears. There's a clash between El Medkar and Jack Gurr. Gurr has been left on the floor. El Medkar's going to keep playing, and he's won the throw-in. Portillo thought that Jack Gurr should have had a free kick. Gurr is pleading and saying he felt he was there first. Let's have a look, Pop, see if we can see if there was a foul. I think it might just be out of our shot. There it is. Difficult to tell from that angle.
Yeah, contact there, just not quite able to see.
Owen Dahm has a long throw into the area, and it's belted away by Benitez. And Harvey Sinclair goes back to the goalkeeper, Brian Dowd.
Sinclair played it back to Dowd, as you mentioned, and it looked like Dahm kind of had his arm out there after that long throw. Maybe should have retreated just a little bit further back along the touchline towards the midway point to be able to receive that instead of having to play that ball all the way back. Keep a little pressure on Sacramento every chance that you get.
Medkar's done really well here. He's inside the box. Can he find Herrera? He can, but there's also a wonderful piece of defending from the number 22, Michel Benitez, and the referee said it was a foul, but good play from El Medkar, the number 10 for FC Tulsa, wide on the left-hand side.
It was tremendous again, and this had to be an element to the scouting this week, because how many times have we seen so far, Dave, the long ball from the back line, just trying to test that group from Sacramento, and FC Tulsa has had a number of opportunities there, and you see there at the very end on that foul that was called, but Alera got a touch on it. It's going to be a little bit difficult to handle in that moment.
Yeah, Benitez with some good defending. Okay, my friend, 22 minutes gone. I want to tell everybody about this. The USL on CBS kicks off April the 6th with two former USL Championship title winners battling it out. Join us on Sunday, April the 6th, as undefeated San Antonio FC takes on Western Conference rival Phoenix Rising FC at 4 p.m. Eastern on CBS. One not to be missed. Free kick to Sacramento Republic. Let's have a look at the replay. It was Vonner, who I think was just into the I think it was actually his leg, wasn't it, that was caught there, as both players, I think, eyes on the ball. I don't think there's anything malicious there.
No, I'd be intrigued to see if part of that was how they landed.
Justin Portillo, who made 10 appearances for FC Tulsa, former New Mexico man as well. His first start of the season. Ball into the box. There's a header down, comes off the defender. It's bobbling around, and in the end, it's cleared away by Owen Dahm.
Dahm did his best to keep that going over the byline there. Save a corner for FC Tulsa. Sketchy moment. That ball bouncing freely in the box and ping-ponging around.
And that's kind of how the goal happened last week, wasn't it, against North Carolina? It just fell nicely. Long ball forward. Kleeman with the header away. Now Medcar has been involved in the last few minutes, just fouling Portillo.
See what I mean by rather direct balls there from the back line? That's another one that they were trying to split over the top of the defenders.
24 minutes gone, 0-0. Benitez forward with that trusty left foot up to the front line, and there's an offside, the first offside of the game. Free kick will be taken by A.B. Sissoko, the captain for FC Tulsa. Let's another look at Luke Spencer. Harvey Sinclair's there, but Benitez is busy at the back, and not much has got round him, playing on the left of the three of Benitez, Kleeman and Akebu. Throw into FC Tulsa, and look at this pot, everybody forward. Well, as I say that, they're just going to drop maybe Harvey Sinclair back, but Owen Dahm's got a long throw, and up from the back Lamar Batista and A.B. Sissoko, but they go short. There's the ball into the box, header! The header was from Stojanovic, but it was an easy save for Vitiello in the end.
It was good service. Stojanovic did everything that he could with it from that angle. And quickly on the outlet, here comes Sacramento.
Yeah, Fona. Cicerone is pulled out wide on the left. Harvey Sinclair chops it in, but Cicerone stays on his feet. Now into the box. Pirano. And he's shot over, has the lad from San Antonio.
Well, watch the space that Pirano, when we get a look at this, creates for himself. He's going up against the much larger defender, and he kind of bounces off of it. He absorbs the contact, almost forcefully creates it himself, and uses a little bit of that momentum off just to give him enough space. And you'll be able to see it here. Nice ball right there, just kind of pushing off of it. He's doing his best, Dave, with that smaller frame. You saw how low that he got to be able to have a little bit of that momentum where he could just explode off of it the moment that ball gets to him.
I think Christian Pirano is a fantastic player. I remember they were very excited when he was coming through the ranks at San Antonio, of course being a local lad as well. And he has only had 39 minutes in the first two games for Sacramento Republic. It's his first start, and he is just a wonderful player. Plays, I think, with both feet and can create things from nowhere. Here he is on the ball again, low to the ground, a la Messi. Here's Jack Gurr. Gurr into the box. Gurr has got a fantastic right foot, and I can't think of many better than Jack Gurr in the USL Championship for delivering crosses into the box.
He's made a living off of it so far throughout his career.
And was very pleased as a Newcastle fan, he's from Newcastle, that finally Newcastle got a trophy this season against your team, Pop. So that's why you're quiet, isn't it?
I was hoping that there was not going to be a mention of that on the broadcast this evening, but
the fanatical Geordie fans finally have something to shout about. There's the ball for El Mercar, but Kleeman steps in with a towering header again.
it's a good challenge.
Sissoko just got in a bit of a mess. There's a chance, and it's not well taken at all by Sebastian Herrera. who didn't get his angle or body shape right, and it goes harmlessly away.
Well, that's going to be one for Sacramento. They're going to wish that they had back. It was a very sturdy challenge there. Unlucky for FC Tulsa that the ball just happened to come off of a deflection, and off to the races they go. And you see there the poorly hit ball. And Tulsa a little bit fortunate there, as Sacramento had numbers.
Goal kick. Brian Dowd it is. Thanks again for joining us here locally on Fox 23 and ESPN Plus. Dave Saunders, Jeremy Poplin with you. 0-0 the score. Good game this one. You just feel that the away side have taken the pendulum their way a little bit, certainly with their attacking, and FC Tulsa are having to play on the counter-attack a little bit.
A lot of it's been through Pirano, which you would expect for Sacramento.
Ball cleared. Kleeman again heads towards that right-hand side, and there was a foul by Stojanovic. Free kick to Sacramento Republic. Justin Portillo again going to be over this one. Players up from the back, the likes of Kleeman and Okebu come up from the back. Everybody back for FC Tulsa. Coming up to the half-hour mark. Portillo, low line drive into the box. Ball comes down off Owen Darm. Kleeman will lay this one off. It will go back to Jack Gurr. Gurr plants it firmly back into the box. And it was Vonner that kicks the turf in disgust, because it ends up way behind the goal.
Gurr just putting that one back into play to give his team an opportunity.
Well, as the world demands low-cost, low-carbon energy, Williams will be there with the best transport, storage and delivery solutions. Williams, we make clean energy happen. FC Tulsa breaking down the right-hand side. Galera surrounded by two, and in the end it comes off Benitez. And that was good doubling up defending on Galera.
See Felipe giving a nice clap there for what you just mentioned. Not giving any amount of space whatsoever there in the corner. Felipe, by the way, I believe tonight with his 138th appearance. Last week he moved into second place all time in Republic FC appearances. Ranked number 2 in history for starts and minutes. And he could be the all-time record holder in all 3 of those categories by the time we get to the end of the 2025 season.
Would be fantastic achievements, wouldn't it? Here's Jack Gurr. Portillo. Portillo plants it to the far post. That's over everybody, and that will go away for a goal kick. Well, Pop, 31 and a half minutes gone. Your assessment so far, 0-0. What's your overall assessment of both teams and the way this game's planning out?
I think Sacramento has settled in much quicker than what FC Tulsa has. Seemed after about the 15-minute mark, it's been more kind of played to their style that they want to. Most of the attack from the Tulsa side has been, again, placement of the long ball. They've had a couple as we get our first booking here of the evening. But in terms of just overall possession, I think it has been a tidier game for Sacramento compared to Tulsa. They've had a few moments there in the back, but they haven't been able to get some good clearances, and just haven't seen a lot through the midfield so far tonight for FC Tulsa, Dave.
Right. There's Boubacar Diallo just mistiming that one, and he gets the first La Course yellow card of the game. Benitez is okay. Yeah, I think that's where FC Tulsa would like to get the likes of Giordano Coley on the ball a little bit more. The Australians hardly touched the ball, and Diallo, who committed that foul, they haven't had the ball, you're right, in the middle of the field. They've been dominated by the likes of Luis Felipe and Justin Portillo. There's the ball into the box, it drops down, it's cleared away, Jack Gurr will head it back towards the 18-yard line. Batista away. Headed back by Benitez. Flicked on by Kleeman. And again, this time by the right foot. Batista headed back again. Lots of heading going on. Benitez having to scurry back. That's good play from Calera. And Calera will win a corner for FC Tulsa, their first of the match. And Calera wants more from the crowd, and he's lively, he's up for this. He knows he's up against a good defence and a good goalkeeper, but he's certainly giving it lots of energy in the front line for FC Tulsa.
Yeah, almost single-handedly there, creating this opportunity here for the home side.
Katrina Freshmeck's corner for FC Tulsa. Vitiello waits. Coley has gone across to the right-hand side. Plenty of players in and around the penalty spot. Stojanovic and Elmeka wait, and here's Elmeka coming in the far post, but Kleeman saw it and got a very important header there, or Elmeka may well have had a direct header on goal. Owen Darm having to scurry back here. Good delivery from the corner, Pop.
Great delivery, even better level of defending there from Kleeman. Expect nothing less. After spending 2 seasons with Tampa Bay, coming to Sacramento.
Yeah, another great signing. He's a class defender. He certainly has strengthened up, if it needed strengthening, the Sacramento Republic FC defense. Outstanding defender. Here's another outstanding defender, AB Sissoko. FC Tulsa have signed Sissoko and Lamar Batista at the back. Put Arthur Rogers there as well. There's the back three. We've only conceded 1 goal this season. Kleeman clears. 35 minutes have gone here at 1 Oakfield, 0-0.
We see another long throw in here from Dom, who will now jog over. Last time they elected to keep it a little bit short just to try to give Sacramento multiple looks, besides just putting it into the box each and every single time.
Sissoko nearest to Vitiello, wants to get this flick on. Kleeman's pushing him around. Referee glancing over the shoulder of Boubacar Diallo to see what's going on. Sissoko does not get there. Coley misses his kick. Cicerone goes down, and that will be a free kick. And Coley was quite clever there, I think.
I think you're right. See here, it's just unlucky. And a tumble to the ground at the same time creates the foul.
I think on another day, the cheeky Australian might not have got away with that. Made nearly 60 appearances for Perth Glory in the A-League in Australia over 4 years. Again, a good signing. And Popo was talking about this with several people. We just watched this. Pirano dangerously into the box, and that's good defending from Batista.
Man, Pirano's got such a good first touch. Never really allows it to get too far out in front of him. Another display of brilliance here, and you'll be able to see it. Lofted ball, touch right there with the arm. Ooh, got a little high on that one, but just trying to create as much of an opportunity for himself as he can.
Katrina Freshmeck's corner. Dominic Vonner with it. Goes short. Gets it back from Pirano. Pirano again. Onto that left foot of his. Pirano's in there again, and Bautista again will clear the ball for another corner.
Love Pirano's work rate. Gives up the ball, and immediately an explosion. Watch him right here. Out of your frame, and the next moment you see him, he's behind the defender, giving himself a chance. This is pure determination.
I'm sure I'm not the first to say, Pop, but he reminds me very much of Lionel Messi. I mean, The left foot, the size, you know, the way he gets low to the ground.
Spatial awareness as well with where he's at all times.
Again, they go to the same short corner. Varner back across goal, blocked by the defenders. As has happened so much this season, FC Tulsa will get bodies in the way.
Well, this time it's almost virtually the same, only it's not Pirano this time. Was hanging back just a little bit.
So we're going to have the Ramadan fasting break here at sundown. And both teams will gather. And so far, Pop, as the players gather and some of the players celebrating and breaking the fast, it's been, you would say, even, obviously with the score. Attacking wise, Sacramento have had more, and FC Tulsa have had glimmers on the counter-attack.
Not enough, though, I don't think, for anyone's comfort from the FC Tulsa perspective. It's like they've been playing on their defensive end now for a large portion of this first half. I'll have to take a look at some of the possession rate numbers, but I would assume that it's going to be in favor almost, if I had to guess, somewhere in the range of almost 60%, Dave, probably as far as possession for Sacramento, and that's happened from about the 15-minute mark on.
Well, tonight's match is brought to you by Tulsa Spine and Rehab. Crowd are into it, and they're enjoying what they're seeing. It's unusual, actually. FC Tulsa normally like to attack the end they're attacking in the second half. Whether that was a little bit of good thought from the opposition if they won the flip of the coin, or whether FC Tulsa just wanted to change it up, I don't know. But ball goes through to Brian Dowd. Well, welcome to the 2025 USL kickoff presented by Terminix. Throughout the month of March, the USL will be kicking off across the country. Join us for the all action on ESPN and CBS Sports platforms. All belted away. Baptista clearing. Jack Gurr heads back in field. Portillo, who's been fully involved in this first half, just didn't quite see the run of Jack Gurr, and Owen Darm will let that one go out for a goal kick.
Yeah, a bit heavy. Gurr was a little further behind when he decided to make that run. It's just going to be too much for him to get there. Tulsa's just has not really had that ability yet, Dave, in terms of possession, to connect that third, fourth, fifth ball between them. It's been so direct so far here in the first half.
Well, I think Coley got the wrong side there. To be fair to the Sacramento player, he didn't make anything of that, but Coley just got the wrong side, and he puffs his cheeks as if to say, I didn't think I committed a foul.
By the way, in speaking with Coley a few weeks ago, I was trying to think off the top of my head, there hasn't been that much of an Australian influence throughout the history of the team here in Tulsa, has there?
I'm racking my brains now over the last 10 years.
I got one.
Come on.
Adriano Pellegrino.
Of course. Yes, I remember him very well. And he, I think, yeah, the statisticians may come up with another one. I can't think of another one off the top of my head, but there is an Australian influence. Of course, Caleb Saul has spent time there, and the assistant coach has flown in from Australia, Andrew Christensen. He was with the Western Sydney Wanderers. Of course, the A-League in Australia is getting bigger and bigger all the time, but lots of people want to come here and play in the USL Championship worldwide too. Here's the Katrina Freshmats corner into the near post, headed away. Flicked on and out by FC Tulsa. Will go back in from Benitez towards the left-hand side. Again, it's forced to Kleeman. Maybe Sissoko can get an out ball here to Taylor Carrera, who's on his own, but he's going to go. But that's a sliding tackle. Stojanovic. Now they try and switch it, but in steps another defender. Here's Owen Dahm, who's really got forward down this left-hand side, running in between two. He goes down. I think he tripped rather than being tripped over by another player.
And the ball got away from him for just a bit. I like it though. He had enough space, turned, went on the straight line attack.
Sissoko to Rogers. Cicerone gets the challenge in. We're coming up to the end of this first half. Well, soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site. SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Friday night football here in downtown Tulsa brings Sacramento Republic into town. FC Tulsa looking to score late in this first half. Vitiello has to come a good 10 yards out of his goal, belts it forward. Lamar Batista heads it forward. There was an offside, says the referee and his assistant. Breeze blowing, but it's been dry all night. We have had some rain in Tulsa today, much needed. It's a good battle up there, and Sissoko in the end brings down Herrera.
Yeah, those two have had a number of moments so far here this evening.
Portillo likes to talk to the referee, and he might be saying something along the lines of, the fouls are building up. Referee, do you need to go to your book a little bit more? Sissoko strong.
Sissoko too, kind of those arms up around the shoulder area, driving Herrera there into the turf.
Gonna have 2 minutes of Tulsa Tech stoppage time. Well, it's a good time to score in a game of football. Portillo, everybody back for FC Tulsa. Portillo is headed in, and it will be thankfully gathered in by Brian Dowd, who's done pretty well. But he's got, and this is something I think we've seen a lot in this season, there are bodies in front of the goalkeeper, be it Johan Peñaranda, Brian Dowd, bodies in the front, and they're stopping shots on goal.
We've seen that several times here this evening as well, on top of what we highlighted in the pregame.
Checker will clear. That will go all the way through to Dowd. Yeah, lots of blocks. I mean, in some ways, you know, goalkeepers, they have a difficult enough job, but then when you've got lots of legs being, you know, thrown at footballs, it's a difficult job, isn't it? But Dowd's done pretty well in his debut. Vitiello will take all the time he can here with 30 seconds left. Stay with us in the halftime show. We'll show you highlights of this first half. We'll look at the standings. We'll look at news and notes from around the league. The referee has said there is a foul. There's not been anything malicious, although there's a little chat between Lamar Batista and Herrera. In the end, I think the referee just wants to calm things down.
Yeah, he's trying to pull Batista over here. He doesn't necessarily have to shout at him from a distance here, so the referee will close the distance and got to bring these two together. And I would assume, Dave, that this will be the last type of conversation that we see before we start having a few moments of reaching for a card from our official. All is well.
like referees that would talk to players. Batista wasn't happy with Herrera. There's Dowd. And this could be the last action of the first half. He belts it forward, wind assisted. It's going to go away for a throw-in, but the referee says there won't be enough time for the throw-in. That will do us for the first half. And Pop, what's your overall assessment of what we've just seen in the first half?
I think FC Tulsa is going to have to try to figure out a way where they can play a little bit more through the midfield, because we have not seen much of that so far in terms of just being able to keep the ball. Can you find a way to keep the ball and keep possession in your offensive third? We have seen very little of that so far from FC Tulsa, and if you're Sacramento, probably feel like you've missed a couple of opportunities here, but you've got to feel good about the way that you performed on your first away match of the season.
There we are. That'll do it for the first half. Stay with us. We've got the Williams halftime show coming up right after this break. It's FC Tulsa 0, Sacramento Republic FC 0.
At Bill Knight Ford, we're proud to bring you the power of three. 3 locally owned locations, 1 unbeatable experience. With Bill Knight Ford of Tulsa, Stillwater, and Bartlesville, you have access to a wider selection of vehicles, more service options, and a dedicated team ready to help you at every turn. Convenience, value, and top-notch service at home or at the dealership. Visit any of our locations or shop BillKnightAuto.com. Experience the power of 3 for yourself. That's Bill Knight Ford, home of the Knight Advantage.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
When I come home, it's like I feel like I'm in my dream home. I've been doing a little research on HELOCs, and I went to Oklahoma Central Credit Union. They were wonderful. We've added pretty much a new addition to our house. We didn't even have to pay the closing cost. They paid it for us. So I've been with Oklahoma Central for quite a while. I'm not going anywhere else.
FC Tulsa are looking to beat their opponent Sacramento Republic for the first time in 15 attempts. Alas, at the moment, we have a stalemate. Back with more from the Williams Halftime Show right after this short break.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. Every step forward brings you closer to greatness. This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador, Spiked Bebidas.
And it's a tremendous finish! San Antonio FC!
Covering the biggest story in USL and US soccer this week, Paul McDonough sits down with Devin.
Division One is coming. Promotion and relegation just right around the corner. What sort of expansion are we going to see nationwide, and sustainability? That is the biggest buzzword I took away from coming out of this interview with President Paul McDonough. He takes a deep dive, no questions off the table in our half hour together.
Welcome back into One Oak Field. Friday night football. Haven't been able to bring you a goal in the first half, but it's not without its intrigue. Is this game between FC Tulsa and Sacramento Republic FC, who play in the same conference. So I know it's early on, Jeremy Poplin, but let's have a look at the standings and remind everybody that you have to be above that red line if you want a playoff place. And FC Tulsa have had a sound start to the season.
They have indeed, with the 6 points. You see San Antonio
gets bigger every year.
Speaks to the quality that we have here across USL, doesn't it, Dave? I mean, to think just 10 years ago how far that we've come, it's shocking to see just the level of competition that's played here week in, week out.
It takes experience, 117 years worth. Experience that helps society move towards brave new horizons in technology and innovation that continues powering the future of our nation and the globe. Experience powers us.
Hi, I'm Bill Knight for Bill Knight Ford.
And we're proud to be part of the Tulsa community and Oklahoma's #1 Ford dealer for 16 years, providing you with unmatched sales and ownership experience. We're grateful for the trust and support you've shown us, making our continued growth and success possible. Here's to 16 years of sales leadership and many more to come.
Join us at Bill Knight Ford and BillKnightFord.com, 96th and Memorial, and home of the Knight Advantage.
At Ascension St. John, we're committed to being your first choice for healthcare in Oklahoma. For movement disorders, spine care, and more, our brain and spine specialists lead in coordinating advanced care. Patients choose us for advanced heart care and personalized cancer care. And we also excel in the things that can't be measured. Listening more closely, caring more compassionately.
Tonight's match is brought to you by Ascension St. John, by Bill Knight Ford, home of the Knight Advantage, and by Williams. We make clean energy happen. Jeremy Poplin, Dave Saunders with you. Pop, let's have a look at what went down in the first half, and it all started off with a Sacramento Republic shot.
See, just continuing to work there, and it's Pirano. We called his name a number of times, just missing that one. Here's one of Tulsa's early opportunities. That one sent over the top of the bar, but good effort there. One of the few chances that they have. And Sacramento had a couple of these, but there's that defense again coming through with another block. Then the second attempt goes way wide. Also, you can see on this push here, a little touch there to the inside. Now the foul was ultimately called. Tulsa turned away. A header that's knocked around, kept on the ground, bouncing around briefly there for a moment, kept off of the line and sent out of play. In one of the final moments here of the first half, see here the foul from behind, a card issued there. But tidy balls played in from Sacramento, Dave, but they just could not find a path through the trees. That forced the players that Tulsa has capitalized on so far in the season standing up tall once again.
Which is why we're at 0-0, and let's have a look at the stats. You mentioned possession. Surprisingly, the possession stats have gone in favour of FC Tulsa. The corners 3-1 shows a little bit more of the attacking, and then if you look at the shots, you know, Sacramento maybe edged that first half.
I'm stunned by that possession number right there. I thought that would be absolutely 100% reversed, but it tells you, and I would have to go back and look, the majority of that has to be on the defensive side there of FC Tulsa, not having that many opportunities here early on. You see there just the total of shots, 8 for Sacramento and 2 for FC Tulsa.
Let's have a quick look at the team of the week before we get underway for the second half, and you'll see some familiar names. Nick Moon, who was here for Tampa Bay Rowdies at the back there with Paco Craig, who was here last week with North Carolina. There he is up top, Russell Cicerone. Lost count the number of times he's been in the team of the week. Congratulations to all of them, and we are ready for the second half. And it's a big half for both of these teams. I know it's early on in the season. FC Tulsa would love nothing more than to beat their rivals from Sacramento for the first time in their history. What is in store? We're just about to get underway with the man who had a wonderful first half, and that is Christian Perano. As far as I can see, there are no substitutions. That's not a surprise. But I think, Pops, substitutes could play a big part in this second half.
Yeah, we saw them last week from the FC Tulsa perspective happen around that 63rd, 64th minute. I would expect it to be probably somewhere in that same range here again this evening.
Referee gets us underway. We are airing this locally on Fox 23, welcome in, and also on ESPN+. Dave Saunders, Jeremy Poplin with you. Watching FC Tulsa play it back to Brian Dowd. No substitutions at half-time by Coach Collins or Coach Spencer. Arthur Rogers. Coley just given that one away. Now the ball down to Russell Cicerone, who favours the left-hand side, but he can easily come in on his right. He's already scored twice this season. He's trying to go round them all. He's still got the ball. He'll lay this one back slightly loosely here to Justin Portillo, who has to work hard to get it over to Akebu, who's up from the right centre-back berth. There's a ball over the top to Gurr. Can he keep it in? He certainly can, but Batista is there, and he belts it up vertically into the night sky, and FC Tulsa scooped the ball away up to the hard-working Taylor Calera. Portillo tries to pull the strings in the middle of the field. Of course, they've got some experience. Nick Ross has not made the trip. He's normally in there. Perano into the box. Dowd with a flying punch back from Vonner, and then caught by Dowd.
Yeah, Dowd makes the initial play, has to get back up to his feet quickly as the rebound was coming back to him. This is better from Sacramento, a little patience here. You see them punching it away, hopping right back up, balls right back in his area.
Owen Darm. Has won the throw in. The two number twos there. Owen Darm for FC Tulsa. Jack Gurr playing for Sacramento Republic FC. Omar Baptista with the throw.
You know, one of the keys was for FC Tulsa to not allow, you know, that quick transition game. And that previous bit of possession from Sacramento, they didn't go in a hurry, Dave. They were able to just kind of hit the brake for just a minute, and then just that good ball for Cicerone to create some space here along the left wing. Take a look.
I want to say that's his own colleague, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe they made contact with each other. Herrera took a tumble in front of him.
Sissoko's okay, and he will leave it for his goalkeeper, the man from Willow Springs, Illinois, Dowd up towards the 18-yard line. There's Kleeman, who's hardly put a foot wrong. This is better from FC Tulsa. And that's a good take from Vitiello, who immediately gets Jack Gurr running down that right-hand side.
Well, Gurr will take advantage of that all night. Tulsa collective defending after he gave that ball up, and now a foul in favor of Sacramento.
Jack Gurr is second in all-time Sacramento Republic assists. He was signed from Aberdeen back in January 2022. Let's see if this was a foul by Owen Darm.
Ball was already free at the time that the contact came in there. Necessarily love that. Tough to tell from up at our spot.
Jack Gurr from way out wide on the right-hand side. Will look to loop this in between the keeper and the line. Far post, headed back in by Felipe. Now there's a shot from Vonner which hit a defender, and it will go all the way to Pirano, who keeps the ball in. Pirano into the box. Cicerone tried a little flick, and it goes behind from Boubacar Diallo for a corner.
A great ball from Pirano. Take a look at it here. Little touch to the left, 2 touches to the left. Nice ball. Looking there, Cicerone got a touch on it. It's a corner.
Vonner with the Katrina Freshmax corner. FC Tulsa survived. Coley heads it away for a throw-in on the far side. Pirano very quickly onto that one. Referee said he wants him back 5 yards though, and that gives him a chance to just leave the ball for Jack Gurr. Good start from Sacramento Republic FC, but FC Tulsa standing firm. 0-0 the score. A wild boot forward finds the subs warming up for FC Tulsa. Lamar Batista. Batista, 27-year-old. He joined FC Tulsa from North Carolina. Also played for San Antonio. Harvey Sinclair.
It's good help back from Sinclair.
Towering header from Batista again. Now he brings it down on his left foot. He gets bumped to the ground. Talking of being bumped to the ground, FC Tulsa have their number 9 Calera bumped to the ground by Kleeman. Free kick. This isn't a chance to get the ball into the box here, and again look for the big men who are coming up from the back pop.
I think Kleeman was necessarily too happy with the decision there. The referee kind of talking to himself as he was running back. Also seeing if they can use, as you mentioned, some of that size right outside of the 18 options.
Here's Coley towards the far post. Vitiello comes out, routine catch. And the captain will punt the ball looking for Cicerone, who's got him behind the defence, but in the end Rogers gets back, and the referee said there was pushing from Russell Cicerone, who cannot believe it.
Cicerone's done well so far. Yeah, he's been perplexed.
It was route 1 and Cicerone was onto it, and it bounced and he got between goalkeeper and defender, and then the referee said that he was pushing.
Yeah, off the hop. You see Cicerone that's there, and that's the last thing that you want to see if you're in an FC Tulsa kit. Cicerone was banged up a little bit in the early portion of the season last year, Dave, in 2024. Didn't quite have the start to the season that he wanted. Still ended up, with 19 goals, on the season last year for Sacramento. You know, he'll be looking to try to remain healthy to not derail a portion of his season the way that he had last year.
And also, Pop, he goes into the list of players with 60 goals and 25 assists, and he goes into 7th place behind Dane Kelly, Enzo Martinez, Nico Brett, you know, names that have
Yes.
been around. He's up there with the best, isn't he?
Yeah, there's no doubt. Anytime that you're in the mix of the likes of a Dane Kelly, you have had quite the career.
Vitiello then with the goal kick. Clears towards the right. Baptista and Sissoko underneath that one. Strange clearance from Benitez.
There's been a couple of those this evening, not necessarily just from Benitez.
Now here's Pirano, head down, threads it through, looking for Cicerone. This is dangerous. Back heel from Cicerone, could not find Herrera. But Pirano again just accelerating there, but the final ball was not.
Well, Cicerone had the right idea because his momentum was carrying him further to the right. Nice little back heel, unlucky there. Couldn't quite link up with Herrera.
Well, can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights, plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Justin Portillo holds both arms aloft, hits it towards the 18-yard line. It's going to come off Baptista, but it's very well kept in by Harvey Sinclair, who belts it forward, and FC Tulsa are just glad to get the back line pushed up for a little bit.
Yeah, they'll shift out of that defensive posture. See now in pretty much the 3 separate lines.
Yeah, certainly both teams playing with a back 5 in defence. Here's Jack Gurr scurrying round. Good ball into the box. Good header away from Baptista, who's defending extremely well. And then Pirano and Darm together there. Good challenge. There's FC Tulsa. And then there was a late challenge, and not the best challenge from Chibi Okebu. And I think the referee might like to have a little word with him here.
Yeah, we're going to get a look just to see exactly how bad this one was. You can see him raise his hand immediately after it happened. It stepped on the top of his foot after he came through.
I must admit, the first time I saw that, I thought he was trying to get a little bit of retribution for his teammate Pirano being fouled, but I take that back. There's the ball just bouncing nicely for Vitiello. Vitiello, 100+ club appearances and more than 50 clean sheets as well for Sacramento Republic FC, a great servant to his club. Harvey Sinclair wants to go from right to left, picks out Owen Darm. Darm will slow things down to Lamar Baptista. Still 0-0, 58th minute.
They had Sinclair for a moment if they wanted to come back to the side. Now they'll find him as he now more towards the touchline. He was making a run with his arm raised, and the backside defender hadn't quite placed him yet.
Arthur Rogers. Here's Harvey Sinclair. There's a Sacramento Republic player down. It's the number 96, Luis Felipe.
Yeah, and I think FC Tulsa has a point here now. They're going to, Felipe, it looks like he might be holding his collarbone, Dave. He's got that left arm kind of pulled up It's a good look there from the camera crew.
Yeah, they're certainly calling, the teammates were calling for the athletic trainer straight away.
FC Tulsa, I thought, had a legit argument as play was stopped there because they had an opportunity. They were kind of on there in a moment and had numbers, and they were kind of concerned, and that's the point that's trying to be made right there. But if it's an injury that is one that is as bad as what it initially looked, maybe now you understand a little bit more there from the official, but
former coach now seems to be.
Yeah, Vitiello's there having a chat with the referee as well. We're all trying to work out exactly what happened. I didn't see that there was a foul, and I think they're trying to work it out like we are, Pop.
Yeah, I see some of the fans here in attendance this evening enjoying themselves here on this Friday night.
Dollar beer night tonight. The fans are staying with it. As I said, it's unusual actually for FC Tulsa to be playing this way round. Normally they attack the end with the fans. You saw with the drums there in the second half, and it's worked to pretty good effect. I can remember quite a few late goals being scored at the left-hand end as you look from the centre point. Now, the good news is Felipe is okay. He is, you're right, Bob, holding the top of his shoulder there, collarbone area. And there's the fans enjoying themselves here at One Oak Field.
Those are great seats, by the way.
Let's just see if we can see what happened here, Pop.
See Felipe as he goes in for the challenge here. And then the only thing that I see there, and it's tough to tell, that looked like more of contact to the side of his face on the instead of on the shoulder area.
Well, it was deemed as a free kick to Sacramento Republic. Here's Pirano up against two. FC Tulsa trying wherever they can to double up. Now Medkar's back there with Dam.
Good back post ball.
Yeah, Vonner was there, and then there was a push in the middle. And I think some of the fans are saying that they feel that maybe Sebastian Herrera's totting up the fouls. Referee has only brought his, of course, yellow card out once. Here's the replay. Vonner does well to volleyball back, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, and those two just got tangled up there, and Soga looks like he's in some pain as he's writhing there in the ground.
Yeah, we'll need some attention while he's down. We can tell you that eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favourite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Pop, I want to come back to promotion and relegation. I said it on the broadcast last week as the fans enjoy themselves here at One Oak Field. Having grown up with it in England, if your team is promoted, it's wonderful. But I have seen grown men and grown women, and I can admit to shedding a tear myself, when my team has been relegated. I mean, it's good for the game, don't get me wrong, and people recover, and my team were relegated, and now we're in Exeter City, are in League One, but, you know, and you recover from it. But I think it can only be good for the game here in the USA.
Well, and shows like the Wrexham show, Dave, I think have given even a different viewpoint for fans that maybe are somewhat new to the sport as well, to show what goes into the entire process and how much it can mean to each individual community. And more than anything, it's the building of a community, to me, that means the most through promotion and relegation. Yeah, two hands wrapped up and then a shove. Pretty easy call there for the official. It's Kleeman.
when it comes in, and you know, we hope it works, it could really open up for other leagues to do it in the United States. We'll see how it goes. Here's the free kick from Arthur Rogers. Vitiello's come a long way and he's dropped it, and there's a shot towards goal. It's off the knees of Kleeman, who was back there. Now there's another shot from Owen Dunn, and that's hit someone in the face, and they've gone straight down on the ground, and the referee immediately says head injury.
Yeah.
And there's someone around the referee. There's a lot went on in that little flurry of activity.
That's some pace on that shot, and we'll see it here on the replay. Let's hope Benitez is okay. How many times, you don't see very many mistakes, but it's his own player, Dave, that he got caught up in. And then, of course, Kleeman in the proper position, posted up right there on that line to keep us scoreless. But I didn't see who actually made contact.
I think it was Benitez, who is okay and is now having to leave the field because he had the attention. And it is a Katrina Freshmack's corner for FC Tulsa to be taken by that man in shot, Arthur Rogers.
But I didn't see the Sacramento player that made contact with Vitiello.
No, you're right. Vitiello was blocked by his own player. Here's Rogers' corner to the back post. And it was headed in, and it may well have come off Vitiello there. And it will be another Katrina Freshmack's corner on the other side. Pressure from the home side. Let's have a look at what exactly went on here.
It's a nice ball curling in towards the back post, ends up coming off and will go to the opposite side now.
Boubacar Diallo it was. Katrina Freshmack's corner from the FC Tulsa right. Arthur Rogers, both arms aloft. Plays it towards the middle of the goal. There's a header down from Batista, and there's this chance, and how did that not go in? There's head in hands, there's players on their knees, Vitiello's down, and it remains somehow, Jeremy Poplin, 0-0.
Oh my goodness. The golden opportunity that is missed.
Well, let's have a look and see. Rogers' corner was a good one. I'm just wondering whether Vitiello turned that over the bar for a corner.
I have to take one more look at that and see if that actually is what happened, because it looked awfully close.
Vitiello with the goal kick. FC Tulsa are taking the game now to Sacramento Republic FC. It remains 0-0. We're in the 67th minute as Kleeman clears. But that was a chance, and Taylor Carrera, Pop, was very close in. And we'll try to see in a few seconds if we can have another look to see whether Vitiello was fouled, or did he turn the ball over the bar, or did Carrera just miss it?
Kleeman ends up earning the foul. Puts himself between the ball and then Galera. Let's take another look at this one, Dave, right here. See the punch, and again another Sacramento player is right there in the way. It was Felipe that caused the attempt at punching that ball away to go by the wayside, and now we have our first substitutions on the evening.
Yeah, Lewis Jameson from Glasgow comes on. He started the last game. He replaces Sebastian Herrera, and Marcus Serrato, who spent a decade in Brazil, comes on for Khalil El Medkar. Here's Coley trying to switch the play. That's a wonderful ball. And Stojanovic is tackled by Benitez, and then Harvey Sinclair wants a corner, and he's got a corner.
That was well done by Benitez. Coming through to turn away that attack by FC Tulsa. It was a good ball, and that's what we were talking about in the first half, to see a little bit more of that through the central portion of the pitch, which is where that initial probing came from Tulsa.
Katrina Freshmack's corner. Arthur Rogers again. Same place. Batista's there again. Here's Serrato with a shot, and Vitiello saves. Well, that was a great first touch from the substitute. We've barely been able to mention that he came on to replace Khalil El-Medkar, and he starts off with a shot that Vitiello in the end made quite a routine save.
It's going to take more than that to be one of the best keepers in the entire league, but energy from the home side, you've got to like that.
Yeah, FC Tulsa have got some belief now, haven't they? 69.5 minutes gone. Tulsa Spine and Rehab are a team of specialists in one place, delivering lasting pain relief. Harvey Sinclair, in the end, is brought down by Dominic Vanna. Just have a look at this, and you're right, Pop. Vitiello makes this look very easy, but Serrato caught it pretty well from the 18-yard line.
He did. A little volley there on the off the hop. And more of that will be needed.
Kleeman heads away. Serrato. Good ball, finds Scalera. FC Tulsa on the edge of the box. Coley with a reverse ball. Darm was making the run. Jack Gurr was tracking the run. And now Pirano wins the ball, but unfairly, says the referee.
More of an effort here from Tulsa as well to keep some of those balls on the ground. Calera finally being able to receive one centrally. Couldn't do much with it. But you've got to like what you've seen over the last 8 to 10 minutes from FC Tulsa's perspective. They absorbed the early attack at the beginning of this second half, and now seemingly have a bit of life.
Well, and I think part of that is that Giordano Coley, who we just saw limping away there, is in the game much more. Here's Rogers into the box. Vitiello again. It's too close to him. Catches. Thinks about punting down the field. But I think Coley's an important player in the midfield. We didn't see a lot of him in the first half, but I think he's got into the game.
Yeah, a brief moment of just a couple of touches. You're right, much more active now.
Cicerone got a bump from Serrato. Now A.B. Sissoko, the captain. FC Tulsa building again through Coley. And then Serrato just loses out there. Here's Lamar Batista. Wrong foots. Lewis Jameson. Serrato. Batista. He gets tripped by Pirano. Those two with San Antonio connections. Well, the USL on CBS kicks off April the 6th with two former USL Championship title winners battling it out. Join us on Sunday, April the 6th, as undefeated San Antonio FC takes on Western Conference rival Phoenix Rising FC at 4 p.m. Eastern on CBS. FC Tulsa on the attack. Stojanovic just tries to play it back to Harvey Sinclair and just under-hit it. A.B. Sissoko tells Dowd to wait and plays it back to him. And he calmly plays it to Boubacar Diallo. Diallo goes long, just over the head of Stojanovic. It's been a feature, Pop, that FC Tulsa can play it like this, but they have gone long. That's a slack pass from Diallo, but they can be quite effective with the long ball.
Yeah, they tried that early on. Didn't have a ton of success with it. Would have liked Diallo to maybe try to carry that a little bit further. in both of those opportunities that we just saw him with the ball, take advantage of some of that paciness that he has on the dribble.
There's a new feel to FC Tulsa in this second half.
Yeah, that was coming. You've seen several of those types of fouls here from Sacramento here in the second half, and referee's got to put a stop to it at some point in time.
It's Jack Gurr there who was beaten, and he gets the Lacoste Law yellow card in the 74th minute.
Almost a full-on chicken wing that Gurr was trying to put on the arm.
Lamar Batista, Serrato, Owen Darm. There's a slide in from Burano, and that one will go harmlessly away. Well, still 16 minutes left, and a piece of brilliance could win this game of football. There are various ways to win games of football. Vitiello has made a couple of good saves. He's had a few routine saves to make. Can he be beaten inside the last 15 minutes here at One Oak Field? FC Tulsa with their 2 wins and their loss 6 days ago on this very field. Jameson off Batista.
Well done from Batista.
He's a class act, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely, and incredibly active.
Maybe Suzuka from inside his own box. Harvey Sinclair heads away. Here's Cicerone. Bonner's in there. Bonner to the back of the box. Serrato's there. And that's the combativeness you get from Serrato. Now Boubacar Diallo striding down the middle of the pitch. He's got Stojanovic just played behind him a little bit, but FC Tulsa still have the ball. Stojanovic to the far post. Coley's there. Here's Owen Darm. Coley's definitely pushed further forward. Darm does well, gets round Burano, one step over, into the box, into the arms of Vitiello. And Harvey Sinclair may have committed a foul inside the box as well on Bonner. Now the referee's blown the whistle because there's going to be another substitution, or 2 of them I should say, for Sacramento Republic.
That last bit of play there from FC Tulsa all starts from Serrato with the challenge. Quickly off, finds Diallo. Exactly what we mentioned previously. Keep the dribble. Use your speed. And he did that. Now the ball was a tad bit behind Stojanovic, as you mentioned, but that's all created because of one challenge defensively and then off to the races with Diallo. Well done from FC Tulsa.
Well, this is a big moment for this man, Rodrigo Lopez, affectionately known as Roro. He has not played Pop since May of 2024, and he comes in for Justin Portillo, and immediately they put the captain's armband on him because of the legend that he is, and he comes on alongside Blake Willie, who will replace Pirano. Very experienced man to bring on. As I said, missed the majority of the 2024 season after tearing his ACL.
Yeah, it's good to see him back.
Cicerone. Coley's underneath this one, can't bring it down. Jack Gurr slides the ball to Jameson. Batista with some good skill inside his own box there, wrong footing Blake Willie, the 18-year-old. Willie, who wears 20, became the second youngest Sacramento Republic player to start a season opener. Not bad for 18, is it?
Yeah, and a homegrown kid essentially as well, because was part of the Youth Development Academy since he was 10 years old.
It's a great mix of experience and youngsters, isn't it? Don't forget Davion Kimbrough, who's not made the trip. I think he was, what, 13, 14 when he became one of the youngest players in the USL to make some appearances. And, you know, it's good experience, isn't it, alongside the youngsters, and they bring them on so well. And, you know, FC Tulsa, Pop, in this new era are doing a similar thing. They've got a very good academy. They've joined up with Blitz locally in FC Tulsa. Of course, Mario Sanchez heading up the academy. And the idea is, talking to Caleb Zull, I asked him the question. I said, is the idea that we see one of the academy players taking the field for FC Tulsa? And he said, without a doubt, that is exactly what we're trying to do. There's Luke Spencer, who is the head coach for FC Tulsa.
Well, then you end up in a situation like we just saw with Willie just a few moments ago, and that is, you know, I think he's one of 3 academy grads that are on the roster for the Republic.
You're absolutely right. Here's the free kick from way out on the right-hand side. Roro into the box. It's headed down by Kleeman. Talking of youth and experience, you know, Rodrigo Lopez, who has just come on as a sub, he became the all-time club leader in assists. He was also, way back in 2014 in the USL Championship final, was the MVP. I mean, he's been around as well, hasn't he?
Yes.
Great experience. And there he is, right on cue, volleying the ball down. Here's Boubacar Diallo. Close attention being applied to Calera. Cicerone has to go back into his own half. Time running out for both of these two great rivals. 10 minutes left. As we tick into the 81st minute.
Keep an eye on Owen Dom, who's just there. He was down for a significant portion, was hobbling just a bit. Looks like he's going to be okay now.
Maybe Sissoko having to retreat. Batista under pressure from Willie. Batista wanted the throw. He said it came off Willie's right foot, but the assistant referee on that far side said no, it's a Jack Gurr throw-in.
Yeah, and that's what Sacramento wants. Force you into a mistake there, earn the throw-in.
Jack Gurr would just like a football to play with. And then he finds 2, bit like London buses. 2 come along at once. Here he is, Jack Gurr then. Level with the 18-yard line. Is there drama in store here at One Oak Field inside the last 10 minutes? There's a foul. And it will be a free kick for the visitors. And Russell Cicerone it was, who has to be helped up by the assistant referee, Owen Darm, who Pop said was down. He's shaking his head. But it's a free kick. And this is dangerous. And everybody back, unsurprisingly, Jeremy Poplin, in an FC Tulsa shirt.
Yeah, this is where the nerves start to crank up a little bit here. You have to really tighten up. Last thing you can afford here is a mistake.
And they're up from the back. Freddie Kleeman and Chibi Okebu in there, as you could see in that last shot.
Kleeman's a big target there. Should have done better with the last attempt that he had. Sails over the top of him this time.
Well, you have to say, if you're picking out an FC Tulsa man of the match, I think you wouldn't go too far wrong with Lamar Batista. He seems to have been in the way of everything. He's been good with his feet and good in the air. Cicerone goes down, wanted a free kick, didn't get it, and now Calera at the other end with Kleeman.
He tried to sell it.
Yeah, didn't get it. That's a good flick on. Arthur Rogers is there to play it back to Dowd.
Boy, Dowd had to hurry.
He did there. Easy to make a mistake, but he did well in his debut. Now the ball forward is flicked on. Just for a moment you thought it was going to go through to Calera, but it's cleared away. As the world demands low-cost, low-carbon energy, Williams will be there with the best transport, storage and delivery solutions. Williams, we make clean energy happen. Owen Darm with the long throw. Is this the moment for the home side? Owen Darm coming in from Louisville City. Highly thought of here. Into the box. Serato in the orange boots heads it back into the box. Headed away by Kleeman. Darm's there challenging Serato, and there was a foul, says the referee.
Tulsa's getting ready for another switch here.
Stojanovic is coming off, and if my eyes don't deceive me, it's the first minutes of the season for Stefan Lukic. He's had to wait, has Lukic, and this is his first minutes of the season. Played with Arthur Rogers, Johan Peñaranda and Owen Darm at Northern Colorado Hailstorm in the 22-23 season. Batista heads away.
Lukic is from Wesleyan, Oklahoma Wesleyan here in Bartlesville, just north of the city of Tulsa.
Would love to score on his debut. There he is, heading the ball infield, looking for Calera. They has to retreat, belted away. Sacramento Republic hanging on a little bit here now. Serato, Rogers. Well, Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship, from the Academy to the big leagues. Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. FC Tulsa late on here, winning a corner off Jack Gurr. Applying the pressure. Katrina Freshmack's corner from their left-hand side. Coley's there. Rogers is there.
We'll see what FC Tulsa elects to do. I think Rogers is going to position up here.
Well, his deliveries have been wonderful tonight. Could this be the moment for FC Tulsa? Packed penalty area. There's a flicked header and it's in! FC Tulsa! Late on! Have flicked the ball home! The fireworks go off because Calera has headed in at Arthur Rogers' corner! And with just 4 minutes to go, One Oak Field comes to life! It's FC Tulsa 1, Sacramento Republic 0!
Well, from your lips to the soccer god's ears, you just talked about the delivery from Rogers on the corner. And I challenge you to find a better ball placed in that moment to find Calera. We'll watch. This curling drops in right at the perfect angle, stuns the defense, and off to the corner for the celebration. FC Tulsa in front.
And Pop, don't underestimate A.B. Sissoko's role in that. He acted as the shield, which meant that legally Vitiello couldn't get near the ball. Just in front of Calera there. Calera's first goal in the league. He did put the penalty away to win the Open Cup game, but he'll be so pleased, and he's worked so hard tonight. And FC Tulsa are 1-0 up, and they will now want a very small number on the board at the end of this one with 2 minutes left of the 90. Real drama here at One Oak Field. but you just felt that it was coming. FC Tulsa they got through to half-time under some pressure. They've had much more of the attacking in this second half. Batista down that left-hand side. But what a delivery from Arthur Rogers. I mean, Coley was just about to take that corner pop, and I think Rogers politely said, well, let me do it. I've been doing it all night, and I've got one coming in now. And is there another one here for Clara, who shoots? And it's just wide of the target. Vitiello wasn't too worried about it.
Now, Tulsa's feeling it a little bit now. And you're right, Rogers came over and took ownership of that corner. You'll see here on the replay, came off of just the deflection, a few feet to the right of the post, but still continuing to apply pressure. And now FC Tulsa will hope to keep the majority here of this ball, try to run this one all the way down.
Taylor Carrera scores his first goal, the first goal of the game. It's the Atlas Schools goal that separates the two sides. Benitez. There's still time. Don't count Sacramento Republic out yet. But this is the 15th attempt that FC Tulsa will try to beat their rivals. Serrato is fouled. Vonner gets up from his knees. Free kick. Some defending to do yet, Jeremy Poplin, for FC Tulsa.
And you knew it was going to be the case, that they were going to have their work cut out for them. Sacramento was not going to go away quietly.
We are going to have 5 minutes of Tulsa Tech stoppage time, and FC Tulsa will want to be professional here and see this 5 minutes out without conceding. Roro into the danger area. There's a header away from Arthur Rogers. Jack Gurr back into the danger area, headed away by Sinclair. Then there's a shot towards goal. It bounces around and kindly goes through to Brian Dowd.
Good effort by Gurr, looking for that far post. Just not able to complete it. Dowd now has it, will take his time.
Well, this is clever from FC Tulsa in this new era. They've certainly built the defence. They've not been prolific in front of goal, but here's Calera. He's into the box. Could it be two? It hits a defender and it goes over the bar, and it will be another corner. But just to finish my point, you know, all good sides are built on a good goalkeeper, good defence, and the rest comes afterwards. And I think they're still building as we see the replay.
Watch this from Kleeman, who comes in here at the final moment. You can see kept his pace, even though Calera tried to push it a little bit further out to the outside, just cut down that angle, did Kleeman, but it does create now a corner for Tulsa. And to your point, it's always a feeling that if you have the back line in place early in the season, that you know that your offense is going to continue to evolve and adapt. And that's what FC Tulsa has been doing so far. It always hasn't been pretty, but the results have been there.
3 minutes of Tulsa Tech stoppage time as FC Tulsa win a free kick. Sacramento Republic did bring on a substitute. Aaron Edwards has come on, AJ. Jack Gurr, who's already had a Lacourse Law yellow card. FC Tulsa won't mind this. They'll keep it in the corner. Well, we hope you're enjoying this one here locally on Fox 23 as much as we are, and also on ESPN Plus. FC Tulsa 1, Sacramento Republic FC 0. With just about 2 minutes to go, and FC Tulsa will be desperate to keep this clean sheet. Anywhere will do down that left-hand side. Ball goes back to Vitiello, who's been beaten tonight with a close-in header, a clever header from Calera, beautifully found from the corner from Arthur Rogers. Lukic evades the shackles of two and wins a throw-in, and the referee said that he was too zealous in the challenge. Quickly, Sacramento Republic wanted to get on with that. Vitiello, Kleeman, who's played really well at the back for Sacramento Republic, but so's Owen Darm, Lamar Batista, A.B. Sissoko, Arthur Rogers. They've all had solid games. Harvey Sinclair, they've been hard to break down. Freddie Kleeman. 1 minute left. FC Tulsa looking for their second home win of the season, having beaten the Tampa Bay Rowdies by a 0-0. Throw in. The substitute, AJ Edwards, will launch this ball into the box. Everybody back, unsurprisingly, for FC Tulsa.
Yeah, everyone's got to get tight.
Here's the ball into the box. Darm heads it away. Roro. Lukic, was he fouled? Play on, says the referee. Serato wanted the free kick. And now FC Tulsa will bring on Patrick Segrist for seconds. And off goes Coley, who's worked really hard, Pop, and as we said, he got into the game more, did the Australian.
Yeah, it's a well-deserved round of applause that Coley gets for his efforts here, especially in the second half.
The lad who attended Marquette University and already has a goal to his name, don't forget. He was the match winner against Tampa Bay Rowdies here just a few weeks ago. Now he has some defending to do, because here's AJ Edwards again with the long throw. This could well be the last chance of the game. It's launched into the box. There's a header away to Sissoko, and Roro hits it over, and the referee brings proceedings to an end. It's a hard-fought victory for FC Tulsa, who win this one by a 0-0. Tampa Bay Rowdies, and now Sacramento Republic FC. Let's not forget, it's taken this 15th attempt to beat Sacramento Republic FC. Congratulations to everybody here at FC Tulsa. Jeremy Poplin, your thoughts on that second half in particular?
Well, first of all, a season of firsts, it seems, for FC Tulsa, Dave, with now this victory over Sacramento and 3 more points. Let's just talk about the ability to persevere, which is what FC Tulsa did through the entire first half. Through a portion of the second half, the first 10 or 15 minutes of that seemed remarkably similar to the first half, where it was Sacramento having the more opportunities, seemingly the lion's share of the ball. And then I got to give a lot of credit to the substitution for Serato. You mentioned it, like a shot of energy brought to FC Tulsa. And from that point forward, it seemed like it kind of unlocked the offense a little bit more, and you saw far more of a push forward. So it was a good pattern of substitution here from the coaching staff.
And well done to Luke Spencer, who, by the way, we will hope to speak to before we go off air. We are getting confirmation that Taylor Carrera has got the man of the match. Often it goes to the goal scorer, but can I just say again, Lamar Batista, what a defensive effort from him tonight.
Well, not only defensive effort, but also what he provided as well on the goal that was ultimately scored off of the corner, and just showing another facet of his ability, Dave, besides just the great defensive tactics that we've seen displayed. Him pushing forward and creating the opportunity, wonderful.
Well, I tell you what, the final whistle has barely been blown, but let's show you the highlights, because it's been quite a night here FC Tulsa won this by 1-0, and here's Harvey Sinclair coming forward, scooping the ball forward. There was the shot in the first half. Not much happened in the first half, and really Sacramento Republic should have gone in ahead. They didn't quite take their chances in the first half.
No, they didn't. You saw a couple of missed opportunities. That was one that was previous that just missed. A few more of those here in the second half. That was a well-driven ball. And then on the second ball, brought down easily. Also with a couple of opportunities on their own right. It was rather ragged for a period of time in the back end for Sacramento, Dave, before the goal was scored.
Yeah, it certainly was, but you just felt something might be brewing, and there it was. Taylor Herrera. I'll tell you what, if you're a striker, Pop, that is the perfect delivery for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tremendous. Sissoko there, kind of shielding off as well. Batista there on the back end, using some of that size. And just a wonderful, wonderful moment for the home side.
And it was a sporting game. And there's the young fans who want to get the autographs. Of course they do. But something is brewing here at FC Tulsa. And I think with results against Tampa Bay Rowdies and now Sacramento Republic, things are brewing here. Let's bring in Luke Spencer. Luke Spencer, congratulations. I can tell you, I don't know if you know this, this is the 15th attempt to beat Sacramento Republic FC. But more importantly for you, you're going to tell me it's 3 more points for your team.
Yeah, absolutely. We were aware of that and talked about wanting it to be the first time that we're able to beat Sacramento. So happy we could check that off. But yeah, more importantly, we got 3 points. Happy to get the win, and to do it with a shutout is important as well.
Coach, I got to ask you about the substitution in Serrato. You brought him on, and I thought instant energy from that moment forward, and it also seemed like that Coley got a little bit more involved in the second half on the ball as well.
Yeah, I think in the phase of the game, it opened up a bit, and we thought Marcos could get on the ball. We thought Coley could get on the ball higher up and would be more effective. So credit to Marcos. He helped us off the bench, but just the overall mentality of the group down the stretch, and the belief down the stretch was the main thing.
Coach, there's bound to be excitement about another home win. How are you feeling about things? Do you think that people are starting to look at FC Tulsa now and say something is happening in this new era?
Yeah, definitely. We can feel that, but it comes from the results. It comes from everybody giving maximum effort, and you build momentum that way. So credit to these guys in the start of the season, been able to get some results, and I think the feeling, if people are feeling that way and have the belief in what we're doing, they should, because we've shown that we can compete with anybody, and that this is a tough place to come to and play.
And finally, I've got to talk about the goal. What a delivery from Arthur Rogers, and you must be delighted for the hard-working Taylor Carrera, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. To score on a set piece, Taylor, he works his butt off for the group, and we've had a decent number of shutouts, but it starts with him up top and the pressure that he puts on the opponent. He chases everything down, and so his work rate is phenomenal, and I'm glad that he was able to get on the score sheet tonight with a set piece.
Coach, as always, thank you for taking the time out to speak to us here live on the broadcast. We'll let you get back with the coaching staff and the fans and the players. Enjoy the night. Well done. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
That's Luke Spencer there, and Pop will come. We'll take a little break and we'll catch our breath, and then we'll just wrap this one up. But it's been a pretty good win in the end for FC Tulsa. They finally have beaten Sacramento Republic FC by 1-0. We'll see you right after the break.
What does it take to safely transport 1/3 of America's natural gas? To meet the ever-growing energy demands of revolutionary technologies? To cleanly, reliably, and affordably power the world? It takes experience, 117 years worth. Experience that helps society move towards brave new horizons in technology and innovation that continues powering the future of our nation and the globe. Experience powers us.
Hi, I'm Ryan Knight for Bill Knight Mitsubishi. Tax season is here, and we want to help you do more with your money by offering incredible savings.
Like the new 2024 Outlander SE, starting at $29,769 or $399 a month. And every new Mitsubishi comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
Come by today and experience a level of customer service built on honesty, trust, and a genuine commitment to you. That's Bill Knight Mitsubishi and BillKnightMitsubishi.com.
At Ascension St. John, we're committed to being your first choice for healthcare in Oklahoma. For movement disorders, spine care, and more, our brain and spine specialists lead in coordinating advanced care. Patients choose us for advanced heart care and personalized cancer care. And we also excel in the things that can't be measured. Listening more closely, caring more compassionately.
Welcome back in for the last time to one Oakfield. FC Tulsa won it by a 1-0. They left it late. Calera scoring in the 87th minute. Dave Saunders alongside Jeremy Poplin. Let's have a look at the stats, Pop. And there were no goals at half-time. FC Tulsa, look at the shot count. They upped it in the second half, my friend.
At halftime, I believe it was 8-2 in favor of Sacramento in terms of shots. And look at the shots on target, how quickly that turned around. Possession also kind of evened up a little bit, but you can tell how more dynamic the attack for Tulsa was because of the 6 corners also involved their day. But to go from 2 shots to finish with 11, well done from FC Tulsa.
Yeah, well done to FC Tulsa. They win this one by a 1-0, their second home win of the season, their third win of the season. Let's have a look at where they go next, because they've had a flurry of home games. Well, they go to Forward Madison is the answer on the 2nd of April in the Open Cup. That should be a nice one, nice for Forward Madison, and FC Tulsa will want to do well in the league and cup.
There's no doubt. Hey, you want to win them all, especially with the role that this team's on right now.
And then they're back home again, that game on Fox 23, Oakland Route, 7 p.m. on the 12th. And then they go to Vegas, they go to One Knoxville Soccer Club, and they are at Orange County Soccer Club. So let's have a look at Sacramento Republic, who will need to pick themselves up from this defeat. Didn't get any easier, Jeremy Poplin. They got Louisville City at home.
Woo! That is a tough one to come back home to, where they go at Orange County and then at Phoenix, so things don't get any easier here for Republic.
No, they certainly don't, but they are an experienced club. I'm sure they'll sit down, they'll dust themselves off, and they'll be ready to go again. Pop, overall, did FC Tulsa deserve to win that game tonight?
I think so, with the way that the first half played out. Look, you have to sometimes just kind of sit back and take every opportunity. Unlike, here's the difference between tonight and last week, Dave. Tulsa took advantage of their best opportunity, and ultimately that is the difference in the game tonight.
Certainly is. Jeremy Poplin, thank you so much for being alongside me. Dave Saunders here tonight on Fox 23, here locally in ESPN Plus. Quite a night for FC Tulsa in the end. They win this one by a 0-0. They had to defend, they had to throw bodies on the line, but in the end they did it with Taylor Carrera, who headed in the 87th minute. Thank you so much. We'll see you again next time. Congratulations to FC Tulsa.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.